Welcome to Believe in Chargers with Fred. I'm Lamont. We're excited to be here. Looking forward to the schedule release edition of Believe in Chargers with Lorenzo Neal, Matt Money Smith here. It is the Believe Network. Thank you so much, everyone, for following, subscribing, downloading, liking, sharing, leaving your reviews, watching the YouTube, rating us on all of the podcast platforms wherever you prefer to procure. We cannot thank you enough. And of course, as always, joined by one of the all-time greats, the great Lorenzo Neal, All-Pro, Pro Bowl, all-decade team, of course, one of the most iconic Chargers in franchise history. Please continue to subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and remember to read the top Believe stories at si.com and follow us across all of our Believe socials. Lorenzo Neal, this has become a big tentpole for the league. Schedule release day. It has changed. There's a lot of tent poles now that weren't tent poles before. It used to be kind of Super Bowl and a little bit of preseason and then regular season. And now we've got the combine and the draft, and schedule release day is one of those. When you were playing, did you even bother to check to see when you were going where? Was the release of the schedule something that was important to you and your teammates?
Oh, no question, Money. The first thing you do, everyone's talking about who you're going to play. Yeah, you that's second. The first thing you do is, where's that bye?
Where's the bye?
You don't want it to be the first week or second or third or fourth week. You're like, please, maybe week 8. That's too good to be true. Or week 10 or 11. You want it anytime after 8, you're good. So I think that's the first thing. And then you get into the meat and potatoes. You start looking at the schedule.
So let's start there then. They get it again. Happened last year, and it happened again this year, week 5. It's an early bye, which means, after you get your break from October 13th through January 5th, you are playing a game every single week. What kind of challenge does that present to this team, especially considering the style of football that they want to play?
Yeah, I think it presents a big challenge. I think people understand when you're going out there week in and week out, your body, you understand when you're playing physical ball, the way that hardball wants to play football, you're going to have to make sure that guys are ready and making sure that the next man up mentality, because in any season you're going to have injuries. In the fifth week of the season, you have in your bye. I know it's not ideal, but you got to deal with it. Guys can't complain. They got to understand this is what it is. You wish it was later, but it is what it is. And you're going to have to find out how tough guys are, how doable they are. And I think you got the right guy that's leading these guys in hardball, understanding when to back up, when to put on guys, when to put more on guys. And I think that's going to be big to see just how hardball navigates through this bye week as well as this long season.
Hey guys, let's build some big leads and take some fourth quarters off. It's a way to mitigate it because, like you said, there's no way around it. It's interesting too, and this is something that we already knew because the opponents home and away were already set. But the Chargers will travel more air miles than any other team in the league. It's typically either Seattle or one of the 2 LA teams, just because there's nothing close. East Coast, the Commanders will travel the fewest. They'll travel 10,000 air miles. The Chargers will travel 27,000 air miles. And wow. I think that may be one of the reasons why. Now, look, there's your negatives, right? 26,000 air miles. We know, the pressurized cabin, the travel, it does take a little bit out of you. It wears the body down. It dehydrates you. You got to make sure you stay hydrated, all that stuff, how important that is. But we also know that short week and the toll that Thursday Night Football can take on you. And they don't have a Thursday night game. It's kind of a weird little hiccup now with Amazon paying them $1 billion a year. The NFL has given a little bit more leeway to that Thursday schedule to the broadcast partner, and the Chargers just call it what it is. Chargers coming off a 5-win season. They only got 3 primetime games, and Amazon said, remember that 63-21 Thursday nighter you gave us in Las Vegas last year? We're going to go ahead and take a pass this year on the Chargers. So, hey, take it, man. There is no Thursday nighter low, and I think that's a huge benefit for this team that they don't have to worry about playing an NFL football game 4 days after playing one.
Yeah, that 4 days is really tough. And I just think when you look at 4 days playing that Thursday and you're turning around playing again to Sunday, that hurts. And that's why some guys look at it, though, they do enjoy that Thursday because then they have that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they kind of look at it as another bye week for them, a couple of days. So some guys like it, some guys don't. So
what
I
about
think
you?
It's big for the Chargers, though. For me, you know what? I kind of don't. I like you. I'm with
You
you.
didn't
I
like it?
rather just know that. No, I didn't. I didn't like it. I think because you gives you that short week, your body's still sore. I'm telling you, Monday. That's why you come in and all you do on Monday is you pretty much lift to go for a little run to make guys sweat. Tuesday's your off day. Wednesday you're back in installation. So when you think about a Thursday on a short week, that's hard to cram that in. You're actually cramming that in the week before. So I think it's a huge advantage because when you're talking about putting in a game plan and understanding your team, you can't do it because Sunday they're off, and then you got to come right back in Monday, and you're a walkthrough, so you
Yeah.
can't even watch the last game. So it's a short week, and playing again on Wednesday, walk through on Wednesday. Wednesday you're walking through, and Thursday the ball game. So I think it's very very tough for guys to bounce back. So I didn't like it.
So we got benefit there. You know what else is a benefit is BetOnline, number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and the NFL, NHL playoffs. You get stats, you get news, you get scores available to follow your favorite teams, plus the latest odds and lines, the latest team matchups, player props, odds on just about every sport out there. If it's being played, it's available at BetOnline. So get on over to the website today. At least just go check it out. All the stuff they have available for you to consume. You can get it on your mobile device as well. Get in on the action. It is BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, Lo. So we got the bye. No Thursdays. The other big one, Lo, how about opening with the Raiders? How about opening the 2024 campaign with the Raiders at SoFi Stadium?
I'll tell you what, if you're the Chargers and you're the Chargers fans, if you're a player and you're hardball, do you know you said this is the game that if you picked a game that you wanted to play and the team you couldn't wait to play, it would be the Raiders.
Yep.
When you think about, like you talked about earlier, when you talk about that jaloping, that butt whooping, what happened, they got drugged through the mud. That game was so ferocious, for lack of a better word. It was absolutely, it was just it was a bad dream. You can't wait to get back on the field with Raiders. They ran you out of the stadium. They laughed at you. You were the
Yeah.
laughing stock. You were supposed to be a better team than that. This is, you couldn't want, and I think that the NFL got this right. First game out of the box, you're playing the Raiders, and I'm telling you, that's going to be a chippy game.
The last, and look, you can approach it either way. Some coaches don't like to make certain rivalries or games bigger than others. That's how they want to approach it, that they all count the same. They don't lean into the rivalry. Others, they're all about Raider Week. And I know your former teammate, Nick Hardwick, he would talk about Raider Week, that it was a big deal to you guys, that you wanted to knock the snot out of the Raiders every time you played them. What did Raider Week mean to you, Lo, and what do you remember from the coaches, if it meant anything different to them?
Oh, it meant so much. When you got Marty, especially Marty Schottenheimer,
Right?
when I came to the Chargers, Marty was here. Marty was a coach there. He couldn't stand Al Davis. And he would walk around. He said, you know what week it is? It's Raider week. I mean, Marty would come in that meeting on Monday and he would be acting like he's ready to come out of retirement. His face was red. His veins was coming out of his neck. He's like, we're going to be physical. I mean, practice. We're starting the drills over. He made sure our mental state for the Raiders was different. He said, I just hate these guys. He absolutely hate. You took on Marty Schottenheimer. You didn't walk around on eggshells. You were like, we know what week it is. It's Raider week. What week is it, guys? It's Raider week. He preached that. It was, hey, let's line up. Let's play fast. Let's play Charger ball, and we'll make them quit. It didn't matter. It did not matter. That was a dogfight. Marty had us so fired up. We knew, and he's coming back, walk up to, hey, Lo, you better have your big boy pads on today. We're going to run 50 and 40 power and that's what he would do. No, I mean, it was so bad, money, that Marty said at Raider Week, he said, look, on my tombstone, I want 40 and 50 power on my tombstone. And this is the why. And this guy had you in your seat, ready to play all week long. And yeah, so Raider Week, it meant a lot for Marty Schottenheimer and the Chargers and back in the day.
I got a feeling it's going to mean very similar to Jim Harbaugh. Remember, he coached there. He coached there when Al was still around. It was his first ever coaching gig. They let him work with quarterbacks before he took the head coaching gig at San Diego, the University of San Diego. So he knows what Raider Week is from the other side. And you talk about running power. There's not going to be anybody running more power in the NFL this year than Jim Harbaugh. So I would assume you're going to have 2 weeks of it's Raider Week, 63-21. Antonio Pierce saying we wanted to hang 70 on him and screaming Raiders as he runs off the field. Like you said, There's still enough guys. Khalil Mack was out there on the field that day. The one good thing about it, too, is they're going to feel the full force of that defensive front, as long as everyone can stay healthy through training camp. But, they were
Right.
pretty beat up in that game. But now you got
Oh yeah.
Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Thule. They just signed Bud Dupree, a great signing. That's going to be going against an offensive line that did not get much of an upgrade in the offseason. So that is, I'm with you. I don't think there is a better opponent that they could have possibly had than the Raiders. The only thing that maybe would have been better is if it was back in Las Vegas, so they could go
Yeah.
muck it up with them in Vegas, humiliate them on the same field would be the idea. But look, Raiders were a good team toward the end of the year last year. They knocked off the Chiefs on Christmas Day. It's not like that's going to be a walkover. You don't just say it's Raiders week and the Chargers get a win. But again, as it stands on paper, when we're just talking about the timing and the scheduling of it, I'm with you. I think that's a perfect way to start the season. And the nice thing too, Lo, is they, like we mentioned, the 26,000 air miles. They got to get on a plane, for their first of many cross country road trips the next week, and they go to Carolina. A team that certainly changed the way they look a little bit. Some free agent signings, some draftees, new head coach Dave Canales, but got the Raiders at home. Feel pretty good about that. Now you're taking on a team that had the worst record in the league last year, is playing a second-year quarterback who did not have much to hang his hat on from last year. It's an opportunity to get off to a really good start to the season and build some momentum and create that belief of everything this new coaching staff is preaching.
Oh, no question, money. And I tell you right now, I think the first two games you have to win. I mean, I know people say it's too early. I get it. You're right. It is too early to say that. But you and I last year we kept saying these are must. And
Yeah.
as we said it, once we start saying it, we knew that it was over. In our hearts of heart, you said you still hope because you got to hope, and they got a chance. But when you lose those games that you're supposed to win, you put yourself behind the eight ball because you more times more likely than none you're going to lose some of those games that that you should lose, where people in the betters understand you're in a tough situation that you're going to lose. This is Carolina team that you need to beat. This is a
Yeah.
Carolina team. You're going to take care of the Raiders, and that next week you jump your butt on a plane. It's a business trip, and you have to go win that game. You got to go play physical. You got to show them that they're still the new kids on the block. You have to show them to take their heart away early. Go out there on the road. They're going to be flying high. They're playing at home. You, as a Charger and organization, that's what Harbaugh is going to go in there and do. He's going to make sure these men are ready to go on a road and travel. That's what's big about the NFL. You got to make sure that you take your team, you take those big boy pads with you on the road. Good teams travel well. Average teams, they don't.
Did you ever, because the very next week, and it's perfectly put. It happened last year, right? They lose a close one, a heartbreaker to Miami. They led that game in the final 5 minutes. Tyreek Hill, Ja Taylor on an island trying to take on Tyreek Hill. Obviously, that ends badly. They take a
Bad.
lead, and then Vic decides to blitz for the first time in the entire game. 3 straight plays, and Justin Herbert gets sacked. Game over, 0-1, and then you lose inexplicably at Tennessee, thanks to 2 busted plays and 70-yard connections that put the game into overtime, and you end up losing, and you're 0-2, and it felt horrible. Felt horrible
Horrible.
around the team, that flight home, and to fly home from the other side, from Charlotte back to L.A., for 4.5, 5 hours, feel pretty darn good. But I'll ask you this, Lo, because the next week would be Pittsburgh. Did you ever stay? I know that's something that some teams do. Did any of your teams ever stay if you had back-to-back games on the other side of the country?
No, who really started that and really started doing that and done it well. And I think people are starting to copy Shanahan. Shanahan done that a lot with the Niners. Hey guys, we're going to be back there for 2 weeks. We're going to do that. Pack up your bags. I think it's a good idea, especially if you understand what you're doing. And I think they need to do that because you're going to be playing the Steelers, a team that has some talent now, and they upgraded big at the quarterback position. And so when you think about what you're doing, we never did that. I remember the fires in Arizona, fires in San Diego. You remember we stayed in Arizona for
Right.
that week during that time. But no, we never stayed for several weeks when we were back east. Usually came back home. But I don't know if there's been a lot of situations where you're in that tough situation where you need to stay, there on the East Coast
I just
or
don't
on the
know.
West Coast.
I can see it either way, right? Because I think what people forget is there's longitude and latitude. Charlotte is pretty even with us. It's not a real far trip. It's probably under 4 there. It's probably just over 4 coming home. So it's not like that Boston, New York, 5.5, 6 hours. Pittsburgh also, you're talking about Western Pennsylvania. So probably four, maybe four there, 4.5 back. So I don't know if but I bring it up because there is, very famous place where teams would hold training camp in the Greenbrier, right there in West Virginia, kind of right between the two, where you could probably set
Right.
up camp, spend the week. It's just early in the season. So, and I don't think it's not
Do
that
you,
prohibitive,
do
to
you think
come
do
back
you
and
think
go.
he will do it? What do you think? You think Harp's going to do it?
I
If you're a betting man,
If I were betting, I think
no.
he'd ask if he could. I think he would. Look, the man, has football for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The idea that he can keep these guys with him 24 hours a day for a week and just have them focus on football, I'm sure if he could put them up in a dorm for 17 weeks and live with them, he would. So I think he'd ask to do it. But at the same time, I think hey, man, well, it's charter flight. The guys are all in first class seats.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
If it's, hey, we're playing New York this week and we're playing New England the next, okay.
Right.
I'm willing to
Right.
hear you out, but it's not that bad. And that's really the only rough back-to-back they have. At Denver, at Arizona. Arizona's a 45-minute flight. Denver's an
No.
hour and 45
No.
minutes. And then
Right.
at Atlanta, at Kansas City. Kansas City is Sunday night football game, so you get a little bit of a breather there between those two. And again, KC is in the middle of the country. It's like, it's under three
Right.
there, 3.5 back.
Oh yeah.
So,
I
and then
think
you
they
have
do
at
it.
New
I
England,
think
at
they
Vegas.
stay. I
You
think
think
they
we'll
stay.
stay
You know what? I believe that will stay is because I think that Harbaugh's his philosophy is going to be team building. I think during that week, you get those
early
two
in the
guys
year?
together. You start saying early in the year, guys don't know, and say, "Hey, guys, take advantage of this situation. Guys, understand. Look at your brother. Look at each other. Hold each other accountable this week. I want guys to be on good behavior. But you know what? More than that, you guys now I want to see how you guys study. I want to know what you guys think when you're watching film. Go watch film together. Hey, you offense and defensive guys. Let me see what you guys are going to do. How are you going to interact with one another? Who's going to say? And you set up those in the hotels. Now you have meeting rooms. So hey, guess what? Quarterback said, "Hey guys, let's go get another hour of filming. Hey, let's go meet." So I think you have some good time for team bonding. So I think Harbaugh, you're right. The flight, it's only three, four
It's not
hours.
that far. Yeah.
It's not that bad. I just think he'd do it for the team building to get guys on the same page and let coaches and players bond even more.
Yeah, no doubt. I can see it either way. Like I said,
Yeah.
because I was thinking about it, I was like, well, there's really, every college is playing football, every high school is playing football. Where are you going to practice? And I was like, freaking Greenbrier. Greenbrier is where
Hmm.
I don't remember if it was the Saints that started going there, but teams started going there for training camp. So it's set up and it's super easy, to just go Charlotte, West
Right.
Virginia, Pittsburgh. That's an easy one. Then you get the Kansas City Chiefs at home, and then you get your bye, and there's your first quarter. And if you can get out of that at, you know, worst case 2-2, best case obviously is 4-0 because you get the Chiefs at home. But Steelers are a good team, well coached, physical brand of football, and that's the one negative I think coming out of that too low that maybe could speak to trying to give yourself as much of an advantage. Steelers play physical brand of football. You're going to get
Oh
it,
no.
that's going to be a physical game, and then you got to come out and play the Chiefs the very next week.
Yeah, Tomlin and Harbaugh, they're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
They're going to be physical. They're going to be on guys. They're going to make guys, work hard, and they're going to say, "Look, we're going to play physical. We're not going to back down." I got them at 3-1. I added
Okay.
that first quarter. I got 3-1. I got them winning
Okay.
the first two games. I got them losing to the Steelers, and I got them beating Kansas City. You
Look at
talk
that.
about because you're coming back. You're playing at home. You just lost on the road. You just lost on the road, so you come back to SoFi, and it's going to be loud. That place is going to be sold out. You're playing the defending Super Bowl champs. Chargers win that game. They go into the break 3-1.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I wouldn't be
Let's go,
surprised.
baby.
Can you see like, let's say they lose the coin toss. Andy Reid defers. Chargers football. Couldn't you just see Jim Harbaugh running the ball 12 straight times? Like
I
just to
could.
just to set the tone against the Chiefs. Like of all the teams, I could totally see him being like, "All right, guys, this is a little bit different now. We're just going to run the ball. We're gonna unless they don't have success, he will continue to run it over." I could totally see him doing that against
Oh,
that team in that game. Hey, coach. Yeah, Justin. I just got the script for the first 18 plays. It's all runs. Now that's right.
oh yeah.
So that's not a
Oh,
typo.
Har-
No, it's all runs, Justin. That's what we're doing.
Harbaugh's going to try to make him call uncle.
Yeah.
I could totally see that Harbaugh against Kansas City say, guys, I'm tired of hearing about this team. They got Mahomes. You know the best way we beat Mahomes? We keep his butt on the sideline. And how are we going to do that? We're going to play Charger football. We're going to be physical. We're going to pound the ball, guys, and we're going to keep pounding it. We're going to be tough. That's exactly the mentality he's going to have against Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter. Low, you got them at 3-1. I know you had it on before. You might want to put it back on again. Let's tell our friends
Absolutely.
all about these sweet, and I got to get
Oh,
mine straightened because I got my headphones on. These melon
I
caps,
like
they're
it.
awesome. They're great.
Yours got a little white on there. I like that white in
They're
there you
great.
got, man.
Yeah,
That's
I like to wear this one with the rope with my old school, NWA Los Angeles King style
I could
rope, my friends
appreciate
over
that.
at Mellon. So I love them. I cannot recommend them enough. I've been wearing them for a couple years now because if you can see this bottom thing, it's got a little plug on it. It's water. It's made for the water, so they float. I wear them surfing all the time in the summer to keep the sun off my face. As you can see, I got a wetsuit tan right now, so that's humiliating, but whatever. So melon, 5 times built to last 5 times longer than any other hat. Anti-microbial properties. Sweat, you're not going to get that sweat ring. I should grab my old
Yes.
one so you can just see it's been in the
Yes.
salt water. I've sweat in it. It's got no marks on it. No smell. Built for the water. We already said that. They don't lose shape. If you need to wash it, they come right back to life. Look brand new. Don't have to worry about the bill breaking down. Comfortable fit. Sizing. This is a snapback. I think yours is a snapback too. Or is yours? You got the pull one right now. I think.
Yeah, I got the little pool one.
Yeah,
It's pretty
thing is
cool. I
great.
mean, they're pretty neat what they do. I love the hats. I love the way they fill on my head. They fit great. And like you said, I hate when I get the sweat rings. I work out. I can work out in these hats. I sweat
Yep.
very, very much, and this hat doesn't sweat with me.
And this is the big deal. This is why it's important, folks. As someone, like I said, who has purchased these hats, you can kind of see how they breathe and stuff. And we believe in these. Like, yeah, I hope that comes through when we talk about it. But they don't go on sale. That's the thing. Is they're very popular. They're very successful. But they're Charger fans. I'm not exaggerating. That's not me embellishing. When this whole thing came together, talked to one of the guys over there. Huge Charger fans. So you got 30% off. All you got to do is hit up melin.com/chargers, melin.com/chargers. The code is going to expire in 30 days. So we started doing this last week. So we got but 3 weeks left. Get on it. Go check it out. Can't recommend them enough. melin.com/chargers, 30% off. Do yourself a favor. Be sure to check out the Chargers schedule release video. They always just crush it. And they did it again this year. Nobody getting more run. Then speaking of those Chiefs, what they did to Harrison Butker, something he certainly deserves. So well done to everybody over there running things at the Chargers social media team. And be sure to check that out. It's at chargers.com. It's on their Twitter feed and Instagram and all of that. But Lo, was fun just talking about a bunch of names on paper and trying to project how this thing's going to play out. We'll get back to the real football analysis, the regular on-field football analysis next week. So until then, a big thank you to all of you for subscribing, for rating, reviewing, watching, sharing, all of that sort of stuff. Certainly appreciate it. And we'll be back with more Believe in Chargers next week.
Thanks, Money. You're the best. Cheers.